This episode of the Cost of Living Abroad pod is brought to you by Awesome. Daryl, Evan, welcome to the Cost of Living Abroad pod. Just like dive right into it. Like, why'd you leave home? What was the moment that changed everything? Why leave the UK and come to Southeast Asia?
When it comes to answering that question, I need to go back to when I lived in Japan. So I moved to Japan 2013, was an English teacher there. So 1 year turned into two into three, and so on. COVID happened. I ended up staying in Japan anyway through COVID. But when COVID started was when I really started having thoughts on returning to the UK, seeing family, started to miss families. Also, naturally, I wanted to just change the course of my life and do something different. And even though I love Japan, I just felt like I wanted to go back to the UK and just start again, if you know what I mean. I ended up going back to the UK in 2022, and I landed a job pretty quickly for a bank. This was back in my hometown, Edinburgh, where I'm from in Scotland. So I was working for the bank, and the salary wasn't high or anything, but it was a fairly stable job, and the cost of living is really bad in the UK, every part of the UK, London being the most expensive city in the UK, Edinburgh is the second most expensive, so the cost of living when it comes to rent, utility bills, the energy cost, the UK has the highest energy cost in the world, or one of the highest. Mm-hmm. Also when it comes to eating out and stuff, it's really expensive. So because I lived in Japan for so long, I was comparing what I was earning and what I was paying in Japan to what I was earning and what I was paying in the UK. Mm-hmm. And of course the UK was just like double the cost, right? So, and with the restaurants being so expensive, I couldn't really afford to eat out all the time as I did in Japan. Japan's way better for eating out, and all these things just started to get to me. The reverse culture shock was quite strong. It just slapped me in the face really hard, and that is what got this idea again of relocating somewhere else for a much better life, for a much better quality of life, one where I could actually be happy where I am and not feel like I'm getting ripped off. So yeah, I made the decision to leave my job working for the bank in Edinburgh, and I came to, right now we're here in Da Nang, Vietnam, but I went to Malaysia first, and I was living there for the past 6 months, and it's just been absolutely amazing. Just been earning money online, living here in Southeast Asia, and it's this completely new lifestyle that I've, challenged myself with. It's working out. It's worked out a lot better than I thought it would, but it's just great to be in this life and just taking action.
You're working at a bank in the UK.
Yeah.
What are you earning, and what's it cost to live in Edinburgh? Presumably you've got a full-time job, you're punching in the 9 to 5.
Yeah. So after taxes, I was making about £20,000 a year, which is not much, and this is a full-time corporate job. So that salary was not high, and most of the salaries in the UK for jobs, they're not high unless you get really lucky. But the mainstream salary that you're going to be earning is around about 20 to say £30,000 a year after taxes. Even though that's after tax, we still get, we still have to pay, of course, the rent, which is very high. We have to pay council tax, which is very high. And of course, we have to pay for the ridiculous energy costs that are very high, and they're only rising every year. Inflation is continuing to go up in the UK. So you go to the supermarket and you're buying cheese, and it's £1 more than it was a few months before. So the costs are just continuing to rise. For what I was making, via what I was actually paying out every month, I managed to have a few side hustles selling products on Etsy. So I managed to make some money with that. And I started to kind of save for a travel fund for what I'm doing now. So I wasn't earning much. My outgoing was, of course, a lot more than my income, actually. And it was I was just looking at this in the long term, wow, I cannot keep living like this. I had to take action and just take this risk, move here to Southeast Asia, where now I have multiple streams of income, and the cost of living is, of course, much lower here, and I'm earning pounds. So
So geo arbitrage.
Yeah, so my pounds just go a lot further here in Southeast Asia than they would in the UK.
Yeah. Just a quick heads up, if you're planning to work online or start a business abroad in Southeast Asia, Singapore is actually one of the best places in the world to do that, especially if you're a digital nomad, coach, consultant, or a YouTuber like either of us. That's where Awesome comes in. Awesome will help you register a legit business, set up your taxes and accounting, and stay compliant with zero stress. I use them personally for all my back-end accounting and incorporation services. Their dashboard is clean, their customer support is fast, and they make the boring stuff feel easy. Just use the QR code on screen right now or the link below in the description to get 16% off when you set up your business with Awesome. Whether you're freelancing or going full nomad CEO, Awesome makes your life simple, scalable, and legal wherever you and your business are. COVID was a real shift mentally, but also financially for a lot of people. It was definitely the moment when I realized I've been a teacher, originally teaching English as a foreign language like you. I was in Mexico, not Japan. Then I went and got certified, became a real teacher, taught in Canada, Australia, and abroad. But COVID was the moment, I think, when I realized, I can teach online and have it be just as fulfilling. It's like the apps, the students, all this sort of everything, kind of the industry, caught up.
That's definitely one of the good things that came out of COVID. It forced this kind of online situation, for me as well. I was in Japan during COVID, as I stated, and a lot of my lessons were online. And even after I left Japan, I still managed to keep some online students that were continuing to pay me. So I still taught English online for a while.
That's exactly like me. And my entry point into YouTube and creating content was putting lessons and teaching material online, and then realizing that it wasn't just my 10 students, right? There were thousands of people who wanted the same information, and it was just as valuable, just as helpful to them. Right. So how do you make money now? How do you have multiple income streams? I think there's a real stereotype misbelief that sort of everyone who's traveling the world is rich or a trust fund kid.
Right. That's a very important factor to consider for anyone who wants to relocate. They need to have a pragmatic approach to their finances, and if you don't have your finances sorted out, if you don't have some kind of travel fund, if you don't have savings, then of course you need to really get your head down and focus on making some money online. So for me, when I was working for the bank, as I stated, my cost of living was very high, but I did manage to put away some money via the side hustles that I had going. And I managed to accumulate enough money to get me started, so to speak. So I had a couple of thousand in the bank after paying for my flights and accommodation for first month. So I knew I was going to be comfortable for at least a few months in Southeast Asia, even without any income. But of course that didn't actually stop me from trying hard into thinking about what can I actually do to earn money online. I made a video in September last year when I was still in Scotland working for the bank, and this video was about my decision to leave the UK, and that video took off. It went viral, over 800k views. My subscriber count, of course, rose astronomically. Well, maybe that's too much. I've only got about 21,000 subscribers right now. So, of course I took a very sensible approach to this, and I managed to work hard on my YouTube channel. I was creating so many vlogs. I got monetized. I was making pretty decent money, more than I thought I would, just on the channel alone. I was getting quite a high view count on some of the videos that I made before leaving the UK, and when I came to Malaysia, a lot of people were still following me and watching my content. So that was one stream of income. I then started to think about what else could I do to create another stream of income, and one of those was doing coaching calls. So I found out there's a lot of interest from people who want to do what I'm doing. They want to escape the UK, get out, live a much better life. A lot of people contacted me by email with a list of questions about how to do this and asking for advice. I thought, okay, I'm glad that people are contacting me, but I also want to kind of get something back for my time. So I created an online coaching business where the emails that I got from people, I replied to them, I gave them some light advice, and I also asked them, if you're interested in having a coaching call with myself, do get in touch. And then I sent them a template that I made for a 1-hour coaching call via the Teams app. And then, so that took off actually, and I managed to get a lot of clients that way. A lot of people, mostly from the UK, actually paid me to have a coaching call with them and, you know, help them with their plan, give them some clarifications, you know, just give them a better understanding of what life is like out here in Southeast Asia and in Malaysia in particular. Still going on right now. I have some clients that I speak to on a bi-weekly basis. And a lot of them are actually about to leave the UK as well, so good luck to them. And another stream I have is I just finished an ebook about Malaysia, about life in Kuala Lumpur and why it's an underrated gem. I have an online store where I put that there, and I've made a good few sales of that book already as well. I'm not making huge money online right now or anything like that, but it's definitely enough to sustain my low cost of living here in Southeast Asia.
Really what you're describing is the safest thing to do is to set up and create multiple streams of income, right? And it's like, just like you, it's like Google AdSense is one.
Yes.
I have a Move to Vietnam masterclass, which is like, it's just a video course, it's 60 minutes, but it's exactly what you said, it's the frequently asked questions. It's all the really basic questions, the housing, you know, what kind of visa do I get? How do I set up my bank account? What do I do when I get off the plane first 30 to 180 days? It's just that, like, you know, in a way that it's like answered en masse instead of the one-on-one model. And then, service work too. Like, first as a teacher, I would literally just tutor kids, right? I'd have a video and it would say, you know, this is how you do this. The kid would comment, hey, I need help with my test. Perfect. I'm running an online session. And like you said, like Teams app or Zooms or other things really kind of enabled that shift. More people, like one of the guys I interviewed recently was a real estate agent who was brokering deals, and it just kind of hit him once when he was traveling. I could just do my job when I'm traveling. You know what I mean? Like it was just like his whole job is on the internet and on the phone, and it just sort of sunk in one day. He was like he was taking a road trip or something and he didn't want to go home. Like in America, he's an American guy. He's traveling in America, but it just kind of clued in. He's like, I don't really feel like ending my trip right now. And there isn't really a reason why I need to be in my office anymore. You know, like, and he just had that light bulb moment.
Exactly.
And I think that a lot of people and a lot of industries are sort of figuring that out now, that it's like, you don't have to, it doesn't have to, you know, be an all-in bet once or nothing. It's like, you can also go back sometimes if you want.
And that's something I say as well, and sometimes on my channel. It's like, look, you know, give yourself a break from life in the UK. Brits, you know, getting ripped off in the UK. It's like, look, you can come out here to Southeast Asia. If you've got a British passport, you can come out here for a couple of months. You know, you don't even need to apply for a visa. For here in Vietnam, you can get a 45-day tourist visa. Malaysia, you get 90 days. Thailand, I think it's like, is it also like 3 months or something like that, or it could be 45 days as well.
I think it changes, like 60, 30, 90, but you can come to all three.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, why just come to this part of the world all the way from the UK just to go to one place? Like, you know, move around. You know, this is a fantastic region. All the countries are so different in terms of what they can offer in terms of culture, food. It's amazing. Like, I love this part of the world.
I went to Malaysia once, maybe a year and a half ago, and then just recently I went for about 5 nights. I took my wife, my kid, the whole family. When I met our mutual friend Jack Alderton, so check out Jack's channel too if you've never heard of him. Great videos. I was like really taken with Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I loved it. I didn't have sort of high expectations. Tell me about why you chose that place, having lived in Japan before, having had, you know, you left the country. What drew you into Malaysia? Why do you love it? Why did you stay?
Yeah, so when I left Japan, I didn't fly direct back to the UK. I had a 21-hour layover in Kuala Lumpur from Tokyo. From Osaka. So from Osaka, I flew to Kuala Lumpur, 21 hours there. I landed in the afternoon. So I was leaving like late the next morning. So I left the airport in Kuala Lumpur. I booked a hotel for the night beside KL Central, the Meridian Hotel. It was a nice hotel. And I just went out all night. Like as soon as I got to the hotel, I just dumped my stuff, took a shower, went out up to Bukit Bintang, which is like, you know, the main belly of the beast, I call it, in Kuala Lumpur. Amazing place. The vibe was really exciting. Of course, it's a cheap country in terms of food, transport and such. So the food I was eating there was very good, and I just got a great feel for the place, and I just knew straight away that this is definitely a place that I want to return to. So, you know, 21 hours was definitely not enough for me in Kuala Lumpur, so I decided to get back there, and that was the first place I went to when I came back to Southeast Asia. Like, there was no, I didn't even need to think about it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go straight to Kuala Lumpur, and gonna have a great time there, and ended up spending 6 months there. And I just did some visa runs as well, of course. I was living there on a tourist visa, so being in this part of the world, you know, in Kuala Lumpur, it's got a great airport, so you know, you could easily fly up to Thailand. I went down to Singapore as well, went to, of course, here in Vietnam. I went to Australia as well. So it's just such a globally connected place. It's an international city. It's very diverse in terms of food. There's so much that you can get there in terms of the, you know, cuisine, meeting people.
What about the money? I mean, come on, everyone wants to ask for the money. It's, you know, it's not the reason I stayed, but it's definitely one of the reasons I came. Compared to Edinburgh, what's your life look like in Edinburgh for 500 quid a week? And then afterwards, what's the life look like in KL and Kuala Lumpur for 500 quid a week?
In Edinburgh, you really need to be careful with your money. I was cooking all of my meals in Edinburgh because I just couldn't afford to like eat out much, you know, back in Edinburgh. Amazing city, beautiful city. If you've not been to Edinburgh, I cannot recommend it enough. It's such a beautiful place, city where I was born. It's just too expensive, you know. So in Kuala Lumpur, I could eat out every day and I can still pay my rent, and I still have enough money for shopping and some more as well. You know what I mean? So like, it's like you've really got to count the pennies in Edinburgh, and you've really got to be careful compared to Kuala Lumpur, where you can splash out. And of course, I'm not talking about, you know, going to extreme measures, but like, if you want to eat out every day in Kuala Lumpur, you can do that.
What about your apartment, your housing? Because one of the things that really blew me away recently, and I see it in Jack's video, but really blew me away with Kuala Lumpur was the quality of the apartments, the condos. So tell me about where, you know, what your place is like in Edinburgh, and then what you moved into in KL.
So the apartment I had in Edinburgh was central. It was modern. It was a nice place, but of course that comes with a very high price tag in Edinburgh. So all you get is the flat.
What were you paying for your flat in Edinburgh?
£1,450 a month.
That's a lot of money. That's like, I mean, I'll put that graphic up so I have the number right, but that's like got to be close to $2,000 a month.
And that's just the rent.
Just for you, right? Like a one-bedroom flat, or?
That was a one-bedroom flat, and I was sharing with my partner at the time.
Right.
So we were kind of like sharing the bills and stuff. You got to do that, right? Especially in the UK, where the cost of living is very high. But you know, when it comes to the bills as well, on top of that, you are paying like £200 on top, at least.
For like electricity,
you know, for electricity, and then you've got the internet as well. That's another like £40.
It's like $100 to get decent internet in Canada.
You're paying, you're paying like $1,700 about that a month. You know, just for the rent, and then you've got to consider your groceries and all that kind of stuff as well, and the transport. For me, I didn't take any transport in Edinburgh because I lived like 30 minutes walk to the office.
Okay.
So, and I was working from home as well sometimes. So I didn't actually need to kind of take any public transport, which would have cost me another £250 a month or something like that.
Okay. So tell them what, for people, you know, imagine it's someone back in the UK, back in the US, an American. They don't know Malaysia or Kuala Lumpur from squat. Tell them what you can get. Like, what's the kind of apartment you're getting? Obviously, I know you're not paying 1,450 quid rent in KL.
No way.
But what were you paying, and what were you getting for your money?
So in KL, you can get like a fairly decent sized studio apartment.
Yeah.
Right? nice and modern, clean, in a high-rise tower, in a great part of the city. You've got a swimming pool on the roof. You've got a gym that you can access, all for free. You've got yoga rooms. You've got like a terrace garden. You've got like some of the apartments even come with like reading rooms as well, like proper quiet rooms where you can work as well. So you can get a really nice place in KL for like less than a quarter of the price than you would get in London or in Edinburgh in the UK. So not only do you get your apartment in Kuala Lumpur, you're also getting free access to these facilities. So can you imagine like waking up in the morning in KL in your own decent sized studio or one bedroom flat and going for a swim in the morning? Yeah. Also, you can get like steam rooms and saunas as well that are by the pool. So you can have like a really nice active morning, going for a swim, going to the gym. You don't have to, you know, pay like any membership fee to go to a gym. There's all the gyms in the apartment complexes are all like top tier, great equipment, really spacious as well. Everything that you need, you know, in terms of machines, free weights if you're into your fitness, as I am. And the swimming pool as well, it's just amazing, because KL is, of course, it's in the tropics, and Malaysia's a very humid country, so having the swimming pool is definitely a major benefit to your life in Malaysia.
Well,
Yeah.
I really think Vietnam is my number one. This is my home. I love this place. It's been so good to me. It's changed my life, right?
Yeah.
Just like Jack, when I interviewed him, was like, my net worth has skyrocketed. Well, folks, I retired at least 10 years earlier than I could at home.
Right.
Maybe more, right? Like Daryl's channel is going to be linked right above him, as well as a link to the interview he did with me on his channel last week. So jump right over there and start watching that. And one more thing. If you also want to turn your experience in Southeast Asia into a real profitable business, scan this QR code on the screen or use the link in the description below to sign up for incorporation and accounting services with Awesome in Singapore right now.